everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. I'm Angela, and I am so happy that you could be here with me today and Dr. Lise Janelle. Dr. Lise is a founder of the Heart Freedom Method, and currently she is co authoring a new book with Jack Canfield, creator of the Chicken Soup for the Soul series. For over 35 years, Dr. Lise has helped people release emotional blocks and reconnect with joy, clarity, and a renewed sense of purpose. A pivotal part of her own journey began with the sudden loss of her father, which became the catalyst for her life's mission. She teaches people how to move through grief in a way that deepens connection with themselves, with meaning, and with the ongoing presence of their loved ones in spirit. So, thank you for taking the time today, Lise. It's so nice to have you.
Thank you for having me, Angela. I appreciate the opportunity to spread the word about my method because I'm passionate about bringing it into the world.
Yay. So, how did this come about? How did you figure out this method?
Well, so you saw I was saying like after the death of my father, actually it was a lot more dramatic than that.
Mm.
So in 1988, my father was diagnosed with terminal cancer 3 weeks before my sister's wedding. A week after my sister's wedding, my 21-year-old brother died in a car accident. And then within a month of this, my 8-year relationship to the man I thought I was going to marry ended.
Wow.
Wow is right. So I was like, ugh. It was so painful. And I often use my yin and yang. I like using the yin and yang because it gives a good visual. So it was so painful that in order, I ran away from pain towards pleasure. And what I did is I went on a quest to understand what does it take to live a great life?
Mm.
Because it's not if these things are going to happen, is when they happen. What do you do? Because it was painful. And back then, I didn't have coping mechanism now because of all the work I've done. So anyway, this quest to understand how to live life, I discovered two mentors of mine. One was Scott Walker, who taught me NET, Neuro Emotional Technique, which is a technique that chiropractors can use to quickly find where a conditioned response, a Pavlovian response is stored in the body and holding you back. So you can't, because I could have 10 patients with similar low back condition. 8 of them would get better, but 2 of them would not good. So by using this method, I had like really good, results.
And what was
And
the
then at
name of
the
that
same
method again? Sorry.
NET, Neuro Emotional Technique.
Okay.
And so some chiropractors use it, and it's an amazing method. And then at the same time, I found John DeMartini, another chiropractor, two chiropractors who taught me the power of gratitude. And through these two things, I managed to heal my heart and transform my life. And I just love what he was giving me. And then I realized quite early on that people who were happy didn't get as many issues. And if something happened to them, they would heal faster. And so I started studying, and in 1989, I took a seminar and I wrote a statement of purpose for my life. And the career part said that I was going to help transform the life of 1 million people through maximizing their life potential. So every day of my life since 1989, I've been on that quest to bring this transformation in the world.
Mm.
And so in 2003, I stopped being a chiropractor and I had a client in Madrid. And to do NET, you need to be face to face. So necessity is the mother of all invention. I had to find a way of creating a method that allowed me to find, the condition response stuck in the physiology, but without being able to touch my client. So this is how I ended up creating the Heart Freedom Method, which is a combination of subconscious work where we find the emotions that's stuck in your physiology that's holding you back from your dream and potential and from healing from anything. And the other part is the power of gratitude. So I combined those two things. So I ended up, creating something new and improved with combining those two things together.
Wow, that is so amazing. So, this is so fitting because in the podcast, we're always talking about people and how they go through these tremendous challenges and then come out on the other side with some realization, and it leads to some kind of transformation. And obviously, you've since 1989 had this mission that you were going to help all of these people. And so, how has that been going?
Well, I can tell you that having a vision that big, I can tell you actually, I'm going to share this with you because you couldn't hold this vision for so long unless you had, something really powerful happening. So in 1989, while I was doing, it's called a DeMartini method, I ended up opening my heart. Like I ended up having this crazy, like in 1989, I was really mad with my father because he had been really difficult. And even though I was sad because he's been diagnosed with cancer, I'm sure a lot of people listening right now have had similar situation. I was really mad with him. And then doing the Nemartini method, all of a sudden I started, this is why I always have this with me. I started to see that the challenges that he gave me actually allow me to have an amazing life. I live an amazing life because of him. So anyway, while doing the exercise, I ended up understanding the perfection of having had him as my father. And then this man in the group reminded me of my father. I saw him break down and say, Mommy, why is it you didn't love me? And I went like, oh my goodness, that was my father. He had been so difficult because he felt my grandmother did not love him. I know that. And so my heart opened up so wide, so big. I was like, if you read stories of people who had near-death experiences,
Mm,
well, I was in a similar place. And I was shown without words that everything that ever happened to us, everything that is happening, everything that will ever happen to us is there for us to grow in love and wisdom. And I was literally in heaven for like 30 seconds. It was like, wow, I was, whew. And then I came back down. Whew. And it was so powerful. I decided, like, I want to give this feeling to as many people as I can because it totally healed my heart. I understood my dad. I love my dad. It was like, ugh, like I live an amazing life because it was tough, because it was challenging. And I can see the perfection of the whole thing. And it was so beautiful. So I know from experience that an extreme state of gratitude gets you to a state of grace.
mm,
And the state of grace is like heaven on earth. And we all have access to that, each and every one of us. So with my work right now, what I do is I help people get what they want faster. And I love I love doing that. But also what I love is every time someone does the heart freedom method, not only do they get what they want faster, but they also heal their heart each time, every time someone does it. And every time you do this, you increase your frequency, your capacity to create a great life. But now, since last fall, summer, I actually realized what I really, really want is I want to teach this to as many parents as I can so they can raise little kids since the beginning who know they're worthy of love. So they don't have to go through the whole thing. We
right.
can instill in little kids since they're growing up that they are worthy of love, that challenges are part of life. And it's not because something is wrong with us that we get these things. And then we can open ourselves up to, creating heaven on earth. So in a way, I want to create heaven on earth for everybody.
Yeah. Wow.
It's just a small mission.
Yeah. Well, they say
Probably.
shoot for the, what is it? Shoot for the stars, and even if you miss, you'll land on the moon, something along that
Well,
line.
maybe it won't be achieved in my lifetime, but I'm certifying coaches in my method, so I know even when I die, the work can keep on going.
Yeah,
And with the
abs
book with Jack, that's what I'm excited about because hopefully it will become a classic, and
yeah,
people will be able to go back to this. And yeah, I'm very excited because last weekend, 2 weekends ago, for the first time, because I put the Heart Feeder method online, but then I decided because when I certify my coaches, we have what I call the healer weekend, and we spend 2 days like just working with each other and freeing yourself from all kinds of stories. And on Sunday night, everybody's walking on there, and I thought, I'm going to start doing this for regular people, not coaches that are certified, so that people can learn how to do this for themselves.
yeah.
And so for 2 weeks ago, we did it. And it was so cool. Like I'm excited. I look forward to the next one because the next one will be my second one that I do. So, when you first do a seminar, like you have the logistics and all type of thing, but now like I can see it. So I'm excited about doing this work and teaching people how to do this.
Oh, that's amazing. Beautiful. So when it comes to grief, and I can see, the connection between grief and gratitude because over the course of the time when Blaine was sick and then into the time that I was really actively grieving, I was journaling. And part of that journaling practice was writing down 3 things that I was grateful for each day. And so I was always seeking that out. And I think it did help with my healing. I know it made it go faster than, so I understand what you're saying about that. So, what would you say to people who are just, wanting to connect that way, but just don't know how to find the gratitude in themselves?
All right. Well, I'm going to tell you a corny story, and it's the perfect corny story. So one day, a scientist is observing a butterfly coming out of a cocoon, and it's a huge struggle. It takes hours and hours and hours. So to be nice to the butterfly, he cuts the cocoon open. But by doing this, the butterfly has nothing to struggle against. The wings are weak. It can never fly, and it dies like this. So what we need to do, all of us as human beings, is to see how every challenge is actually there to build our wings. It's there to teach us how to love. It gets us to grow in love and wisdom. And I'm certain from the way you are that you took this challenge and that's what you've done with it. Like you're doing these podcasts, you were doing this, right? So you can see that a direct byproduct of this challenge has gotten you to do this work. It sends you probably on a spiritual quest to understand, why am I here? Where am I going? Like, where
Mhm.
do I come from? Like when these huge challenges happen, it creates, an existential crisis that destabilizes us. And because like for me, like my 21-year-old brother was a lot healthier than my 54-year-old father, and he was not supposed to die before my father. So it was like, whoa, because we go through life often, and we don't question anything because we're on this path until something like this happened. And I must say, when this happened, like I was 28 years old, and I was a successful chiropractor. My patients loved me. I was making good money. I was taking 10, 12 weeks off for a year. I had this good looking guy who was in the movie industry. I was a competitive rower. I was a Canadian champion. Like I had it. I had everything they told me would make me happy, but I was feeling empty.
Mhm.
Beware what you ask for because you're gonna get it. So when I got what I call the cosmic baseball bat, it was like, whoa, wow. Like, but this is what got me, shaken enough that it sent me on the quest to understand. So when these things happen, like I said, like there's only two reasons why we have huge challenges. Number one, it's asking us to master something. Because obviously, if we mastered it, it wouldn't be a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
That's why experience and wisdom makes life easier at some point. Like little things that when you're a kid could be the end of the world. As an adult, it's like, okay, it's not so big because, you master that. The other reason why we face a challenge is because it's sending us in a direction that we don't know we need to go. Like me. Like this is where we have to really come from the place, since I'm worthy of love. Since I'm worthy of love, since God loves me, since I'm worthy of love, what am I supposed to learn from this? And this is where you really have to sometimes, like, you feel like you're hanging at the edge of a cliff by your fingertips, you
Yeah.
know? It's like, okay, I'm worthy of love. This is painful. It's not fun, but okay, I'm gonna learn. And if you can keep focusing on it's directing me, and be curious as to where it's directing you. Like I told you my story, and now my life, like I sit in front of you right now and I'm helping so many people because of how challenging it was. So I can guarantee you, I didn't read this in a book. I've lived this when I'm teaching. The other reason why we have a challenge is sometimes we know what needs to be done, but we're not doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Like for me, when I wrote in 1989 that I was going to help transform the life of 1 million people, I was a chiropractor. And, if I keep doing this as a chiropractor, I was not going to be able to do that. So in 2003, I'd be standing behind my patients. They're lying on their stomach on the adjustment table, and I'm crying.
Oh.
I took out my girlfriend for her birthday, and then right in the middle of a birthday dinner, I started crying. So I went, maybe I need to pay attention. And so I took 3 months off, and I realized the reason I was crying was because I knew I had to leave my very comfy life, to pinch my nose, leave everything behind I knew that was pretty good life, and jump in to become a full-time coach. So the two reasons you're going to face a challenge, either you're being called to master something, to grow in love and wisdom, those type of things, or to get, a degree in business, or to figure out relationships or whatever. The other thing that it's doing, it's sending you in a direction that you have no clue sometimes, like me. That's why I'm doing this now. And sometimes you do know, but you're trying to, avoid. So really, it's really about when you face challenges, how am I going to use this to grow in love and wisdom?
Yeah.
How am I going to use this to help me get where I want to go? Because I like having like a statement of purpose. For me, it represents like climbing a mountain. You need to know where you want to go, like the pinnacle. Where am I going? So that when challenges happen and support. So now the game, because I've asked this to thousands of people, raise your hand if you've never had huge challenges. And guess what? Out of thousands of people, there was only one person. There was a young girl. She says, me. And she says, I'm scared because when it happens, I don't know, how I'm going to cope with it. So if you're smart as a human being, I don't know where I got my hand.
You raised your hand.
So if you're smart as a human being, what you're going to learn to do is, as on your way to the top of your mountain, you're going to use support. But don't get stuck in support, because when it's nice and comfy, sometimes you're in bed with your husband or your spouse or whoever you're with, and it's really nice and you just want to stay there, but you got a whole bunch of things that should be done. Like it's comfort can really hold you back. Like eating a whole chocolate cake could be fun, but also it's going to make you feel bad. So we need to be aware of not getting stuck in pleasure and not running away from challenges. So what we do is we learn to use both sides of our existence to fulfill our heart's mission, our heart's purpose, because this is how you find happiness. And I have a free thing that people can download. It's called Best Friend Journal, bestfriendjournal.com. It's a really good tool to heal the heart. And what you do, it's similar to what you were saying. You write 3 to 5 things you can be grateful for, that you can be proud of, that you've done that day. Like, I figured out technical problem with my computer, or I went to the gym, or I spoke with my spouse about, something that was challenging. So you write 3 to 5 things you can be proud of. And then the other part is if you have a challenge in your life, the way you think about yourself or about your life and it's negative, you write, how would I speak to my best friend about this? How would I coach them? Or how would I help my own child through this thing? So you write the solution to that problem for them. And then you meditate on how you're going to use it for yourself. Like Einstein says, you cannot solve a paradox at the level the paradox was created. So when I use that trick and how would you tell your friend, then you're outside the paradox. It's easier when we're not emotionally involved into what's wrong with me for this to be happening, which is why we have emotions. Emotions are guides to show us where we have the illusion of being unworthy of love. So when we're in the paradox, we're sucking our thumb, feeling sorry for ourselves. But if you transcend it and now you're counseling your child or your best friend, it's easier to have a bird's eye view of what's really going on. You can see both sides when you're not in the paradox. So by doing this, what you do is you learn to self-soothe. Each and every one of us needs to learn to self-soothe. And it sounds like what you did is exactly what you ended up learning. You ended up learning to self-soothe, and gratitude is such a powerful healing mechanism. Gratitude is the key to heal our hearts. There's only four things that live in the heart: love, gratitude, inspiration, and wisdom. Love, gratitude, inspiration, and wisdom. So when we are hurting, finding gratitude, even when it's super challenging, it, it will heal your heart. Like me with my father, my brother, my relationship, it was painful. And for sure, consciously, I would not have chosen to have that experience. But now I can see on my spiritual path how important it was for me to evolve. So everybody who's listening right now, really understand and own that you are worthy of love. These things are not happening to you, they're happening for you. They're there to build your wings, they're there for you to evolve in love and wisdom.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love what you said about the heart. I think that's amazing because grief tends to cause you to kind of pull in because of the pain. And, it's kind of an automatic human reaction to just cower and protect. And so that was one of the first things I learned from an energy healer is that like my heart was just closed. I had pulled myself right in and opening that heart. And then I got goosebumps when you were talking about, the only things that the heart has are those four things. And I just think that that is so beautiful because we're a little afraid to open our heart, right? It's because we think we're going to get hurt.
And it's actually the opposite. When you're in your heart, that's where you're safe. When we get out of the heart, that's when we feel emotions.
Yeah.
Like I had a long distance relationship for 6 years with a man I only got to see 5 days a week, a month, I mean. And I saw it when I closed down my heart, I was missing him and in pain. But when I opened up my heart to him, the pain would go away. Like my mom passed away a few years ago, and when I miss her, it's because I'm closing my heart. But when I love her, love is wanting the best for them while respecting her needs. So when I want the best for her, like she was 94 years old, she was tired, she wanted to go. So when I go, okay, but it's better for her, then my pain goes away.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing we want to do, which is, shut down, is actually where we feel the pain. When we open, that's when we get rid of the pain.
Yeah. Wow. You have dropped so many nuggets of wisdom in this interview already. I'm just sitting here going, whoa. Okay, so tell us more about you know, the heart freedom method and how people can learn more about it and use it.
It's funny because all of a sudden I'm all tearing up when you're
Aw.
asking me that. It's like, wow, it's like interesting. Why am I tearing up? I think I'm tearing up because um, I don't know if you ever raced, a 10K race or that's something you see the finish line and then you go like, oh, I'm there. And it's like, I
Yeah.
feel like I'm there now. I feel really excited because the ways that you can learn how to do the heart freedom method is the book is going to come out with Jack, hopefully this year. But
Yay.
also, I have an online program called Get Unstuck with Dr. Lise, where I teach you how to do the method in videos, but you also get 2 group coaching call a month with me. So you can interact and ask questions, and I get you to practice. But the new thing that I'm really excited about also is called the Breakthrough Intensive, where for 2 days you get to practice it and really learn it with me, and you become really good at it. And for 2 days, you just blast through your blocks, to your subconscious blocks, and so that you can get where you want faster. Because most people don't realize that, relatively speaking, your mind that wants something is the size of a football, and your subconscious mind, the football field.
Mm.
Football field. So which one do you think wins? And when your subconscious mind thinks it's going to be dangerous for you to go after this thing you want, it won't let you have it. So people end up feeling really depressed because some areas of their life seems to go well, but some others I feel like maybe I'm just unlucky. The good news is you are not unlucky. You can actually have what you want. When it's real hard desire, you will get what you want. You just need to be aware that there's something called the subconscious that's there to protect you. And sometimes it creates the wrong story that's now holding you back. So, yeah, people can learn how to do the heart freedom method that way. And what I'm passionate is about showing people there's 2 parts to life to being successful. First, you need to be conscious of your heart because we're talking about that. You need to know your purpose. Why am I here? Or, so, because once you know how to use your time, it becomes meaningful, fulfilling. You don't just spend time trying to not be bored. Like when you're actively using your time to create something your heart wants for you, you feel blissful. But the other part people need to know is the subconscious. When you combine the conscious and the subconscious together, you have the tools to live an amazing life. And so I have my book, Conversation with the Heart. That one is out, and that one is about the conscious part. This is what's going to allow you to, connect with your heart. So it's a good way of beginning. And then if you want to go deeper, I have a 2 day again retreat called Extreme Freedom, where I teach you how to get rid of the story so you can live from your heart. So the key to living an amazing life is connect with your heart consciously and then be aware there's something called the subconscious and master it with the heart freedom method. And when you go through life, activating those 2 things, like this is actually a really good visual for a successful life. And I like using it so people will remember it. So the yin is the female principle of listening to your heart. And your heart wants you to know 2 things. First, you're worthy of love. And then it wants you to admit your dreams and aspirations. And then it's about engaging your yang, which is giving your heart what it wants. Ta-da!
Mm.
So by combining these 2 sides, people will live an amazing life.
Wow. That's incredible. I encourage people to check that out. Do you have a website that people can go to?
Sure. My website is drlisejanelle.com or centerforheartliving.com. If they want to have access to my book is Conversation with the Heart, and you can have a digital download or a hard copy. And you can check out on the website, Get Unstuck with Dr. Lise, the Extreme Freedom Weekend, the Breakthrough Weekend, all these things. So like if you go there, or you can just send us an email at greg@drlisejanelle.com, and then we can, talk with you. And we have programs for all budgets, where you're at, what you're looking for. We can facilitate the whole thing for you.
That is amazing. Is there anything else you want to add before we wrap up?
Yes. No, those of you listening right now, because I know, because I work with thousands of people one on one, like I calculated 126,000 sessions I've done over the years.
Wow.
So I've seen patterns. And what I really, really want you to know is that your essence is love. It's who you are. You are love. You are worthy of love. So whenever you face a challenge, take a deep breath and then go, since I'm worthy of love, how am I going to use this to my advantage? What am I supposed to learn from this? What is this guiding me to do? Because it's happening for you, not to you.
Mm, beautiful. Thank you so much again for taking the time to do this today. I think people are really going to, well, I know I had my eyes open to a few things. So, and I've been doing this for a while. So, you really have a way of explaining and I love your yin and yang and how you use that to help explain how life can become joyful and happy again using those two entities, parts. I don't know.
Polarities.
Polarities. That's perfect. Yeah. So thank you so much for sharing that. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, Angela.
Yeah. And thanks everyone for listening. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye for now.